Yes, good evening, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the FOS, plus the tri state areas of New Jersey and Connecticut, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Rhymes with now or later. Your host with the most, misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable, independent podcaster, creator, YouTuber, and Queens, New York native who is also a New York Mets fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And yes, you're now rocking with me by listening, tuning in, streaming, watching the 154th episode of the entertainment review show, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. Live and direct from StreamYard and YouTube and the comfort of my room where I do my podcast recordings. And of course, this is the platform where I actually go over some TV shows, movies, old and new, and of course some music news and a little bit of music discographies and stuff. Um, and of course some gaming news. So if you're into gaming and you're looking for some video game news and stuff like that, I got you covered. All right. Now, just keep in mind, I'm not really a big fan of anime, but because it's in certain articles, I'll try my best to actually cover that as well. And I hope every single one of you out there is actually doing all right on this week. Despite the fact that it's Friday the 13th, there's no bad luck that's happening on this podcast. So just to let you know, there's no bad luck on Friday the 13th in this episode, all right? So just want to make sure, man, you know what I mean? But I got a lineup of topics for you today in this episode right here. We got a little bit of TV news, a little bit of music news and stuff like that to go over. And of course, um I'd like to cut to the chase. I hope everyone is doing all right and preparing themselves for Valentine's Day weekend. All that great stuff right there. So let's get into it right here with a little bit of music Kool-Aid. All right, let's do this. All right, here we go. Okay. We're going to start off with a little bit of J. Cole news, actually. His album is out right now. Let's go over this article from Hip Hop DX. Let's get to it. All right. All right, just 1 second here. All right. Since this album is out right now, this is a little bit of a recap. This is a little bit of a recap actually. So J. Cole has released the first single from The Fall Off just hours after announcing the album. Uploaded under the name The Fall Off. This to track 2, a hint that his forthcoming and final project could be a double disc effort. The song is a storytelling masterpiece that would make Nas proud. Taking inspiration from Esco's Rewind, the North Carolina native lays out his life story in reverse over soulful Southern fried production from from Dizzle and Manish, touching on his death, legacy, parenthood, marriage, career milestones, and eventually his birth. End quote. My grandkids carried the coffin to the altar as they burst into tears from their shirts. The tears rise to the sides of their face and into their eyes. It's piercing with hurt. Fast forward 60 years. I got verse of the year. My purpose is clear. It's to murk whoever dare flirt with death. The best alive, and what you now hear is the work. Cole spits his confidence, clearly undented by the backlash to his decision to bow out of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. I'm not going to get into this shit again. He's a grown man. He's a grown man, and he's just dealing with a lot of changes in his life, though, man. Like, stop this shit. Stop this fucking narrative. Anyway, bringing the autobiographical song to life is a clever video from director Ryan Dubiago, which moves in reverse through different rooms to capture J. Cole's reflective rhymes. The fall of this track 2 ends with a bonus snippet of a unreleased song, presumably from the fall off, which uses the same whispers sample as Mobb Deep's 1996 Tupac diss song Drop a Gem on Them. At the beginning of the video is a message explaining the concept behind the fall off, which is set to arrive that took place on February 6th, which was last week, and is being billed as J. Cole's final album. Yeah. For the past 10 years, the album has been handcrafted with one intention: a personal challenge to myself to create my best work, to do on my last what I was unable to do on my first. The Dreamville rap star wrote, I had no way of knowing how much time, focus, and energy it would eventually take to achieve this. But despite countless challenges along the way, I knew in my heart I would one day get to the finish line. I owed it first and foremost to myself, and secondly, I owed it to hip hop. Earlier on Wednesday, January 14th, Cole officially announced the fall off through a short but cinematic trailer, which provides some further insight into the long-awaited album. End quote. Everything is supposed to go away eventually, a voice says over shots of Cole cleaning his Lamborghini at a car wash and eating a meal on his own at a diner. You see this especially in show business with famous actors or musicians, and it's like, oh, this guy used to be famous and then he fell off. What happened? And they want to point to they did this and they made some sort of mistake. Instead of thinking that, look, it's kind of crazy they got famous in the first place. So few people reach that level that, yes, of course, it's not going to last forever because somebody else has to take that spot. And that's how show business has been since forever. But no, they always want to say that guy fell off. They want to look down on him for just going through the natural cycle of rising and falling. So yeah, there you go right there. There you go right there though. And let me see. All right, I never did this before on this podcast. Talk about some new music that comes on every Friday and stuff. So for this platform here, I want to actually talk about this. So here it is. So if like us, J. Cole's The Fall Off has remained heavy in your rotation over the last 7 days, then there's plenty of new music this week that's about to compete for your attention. Leading the bill is a previously unreleased posthumous track from the late great Nipsey Hussle and his close collaborator Bino Radu. The first offering from their newly announced album Prolific, which is due out this summer. There's a couple of heavyweight producer-driven collaborations from The Alchemist, who serves up the lead single from his Spiral Staircases project with Larry June and Currency, which is going to be out February 20th. And Mike Will Made It, who just did the Versus event, who calls on NBA Youngboy and Chief Keef to help him build buzz for his upcoming solo LP Reset, which is going to be out March 20th. That's a Friday, folks. That's a week after another Friday the 13th. On the album's front, R&B lovers are spoiled for choice as we head into Valentine's Day weekend thanks to Brent Faiyaz, who drops off the eagerly anticipated Icon, executive produced by none other than Raphael Sadiq, while Jill Scott returns with the star-studded To Whom This May Concern, which features Jid, Absol, DJ Premier, and others. Of course, you can check out all the best new rap albums and songs below. Okay, so this one, Nipsey Hussle, late great Nipsey Hussle and Bino Radu, Radu, yeah. That's Rideaux. I hope I'm pronouncing them right. Brent Faiyaz, Icon, of course, featuring Raphael Sadiq, executive producer, Chad Hugo, Benny Blanco, Tommy Richmond, D. Pat, and Jonah Roy. Larry June, Currency, and The Alchemist, Everything Allocated. Also produced by The Alchemist. Mike Will Made It, featuring NBA Youngboy and Chief Keef, Cold Rooms. Jill Scott, To Whom This May Concern, features Jid, Absol, DJ Premier, Too Short, Tierra Whack, Mas, Keith, S1, which is Symbolic 1, Young RJ, Trombone Shorty. Oh man, these motherfuckers and their funny ass names, man. I'm sorry. Trombone Shorty. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my fucking gosh, man. This is just too funny right here. Ah, man. All right, Maha Adachi Earth. Oh man. Wow. Okay, Central C Iceman Freestyle, produced by Harley Arsenault, Chris Rich, and ATM. Waka Flocka Flame, LeBron Flocka, James 2K26. Southside TM88, Travis Porter, Roscoe Dash, and Who the Kid. Murder Beats featuring Cash Cobain and Lil Shimmy, By My Side, produced by Murder Beats, G40, Oscar Familia, Key Major, and Puku. Hit Boy and Spank Nitty James. Oh shit. Featuring E40. Oh wow, bridal shower remix. Also produced by Hit Boy himself. Ransom Boldy James. Oh shit. Hold on. Yeah, Boldy James, man. Oh shit, man, that's fucking hilarious. And Nicholas Craven, Salvation for the World EP, featuring Young Chris and OT the Real. A Boogie with the Hoodie Before Artistry, features Trippy Red, Kyle Rich, Zeddy Will, Gabe Lucas, S. Dot. Oh wow. Boss Man, D Low, Act Like Money, produced by D Rich. um and also produced by J Wavy, Kai Gorn Crazy, and Trill Got Juice. Damn. And Cool Kids featuring Don Cannon, no relation to Nick Cannon, by the way. And Ryan Leslie, Weekend Love reissue. Concrete Boys featuring Lil Yachty, Camo, Draft Day, and D2 Trill Millionaire. And of course, this is also produced by hold on, Kenny Wilson. No, excuse me, Kenny Mason. Comes out February the 26th EP. So let's see. So it's featuring Fear Dorian, DVD X, and Michael Carroll. Jamie Foxx, Somebody, produced by Jamie Foxx, Jermaine Carter, Wade Albert Branch III, and Sam Pounds. Chris Crack, Too Late to Stop Following the Rules. Madlib, Sir Michael Rocks, Shauna, Bruiser, Wolf, and Hudson Mohawk. Buddy, Round Me, Butter Bless the Streets, featuring Big Sean, Kodak Black, 2 Chains, Lil Yachty, Boss Man, D-Lo, 41, Honcho, Trinidad James, Smoke Perp, and Schoolie. Razzcazz, Leopard Eats Face, features Absol, Inspector Deck, Tretch, Onyx, Smith and Wesson, Coast, Contra, Daylight, LYT, Mapreen Shakur. Never heard of him. Bishop Lamont, Chip Fu, and Waste P. Crime Apple and Evidence Car Wash, featuring Blue Monday Night. Oh shit. Marlon Craft, Analog Man, produced by Havoc of Mobb Deep, Marlon Craft, and Sly Fifth Avenue. Bruiser Wolf and Sheefy McFly, featuring Akeem All Common Go, produced by Sheefy McFly. Terrence Martin, Peace. Damani, Forever Lasting Tape EP, featuring Key Glock, Jacquees, K Camp, DC Youngfly, and Seti Hendrix. Yeah, I saw his interview on Funky Friday podcast with Cam Newton. Y'all could check that episode out. And of course, last but not least, Mickey Fax True Crime EP. All right, so there you go, right there. Let's see. What else we gotta talk about here? All right. Okay, let's get to this next topic here. 26 rappers to watch in 2026 according to Complex. All right, so despite all the chatter and fear mongering about the state of rap music, one thing is undeniable: the genre has never been this varied, with almost every subgenre enjoying momentum. So if you are a fan of rap, you have access to an embarrassment of riches right now, whether it's lyric driven, boom bap, inspired raps, hyperactive party driven flows, rage infused, high energy hip hop, or melodic introspective pain music. At the same time, that abundance creates a saturated landscape. When you are in a candy store with every option imaginable, how do you not get sick? That's why our annual rappers to watch list is an important guidepost for the year. It spotlights artists who are just beginning to gain momentum, helping us gauge where the genre might be headed next. Of course, the question of what qualifies someone as a rapper to watch is a tricky one. In theory, it could be anyone. Drake is a rapper to watch in 2026, for instance. But this list focuses on artists who started buzzing over the past year or so and who we expect to take another leap forward creatively, but also in terms of reach. Last year's list included names like um, um, Che, T. Hollis, Nino Pade, and Samara Sin, all of whom leveled up. We're expecting no less from this year's class, which spans a wide range of, huh, a wide range of, let's start, um, the hell? Wide range. Okay. Said 26 rappers. A wide range of fans of Yeet. Hang on a second. Hold on. There's damn, I don't know what that is. Okay, so for fans of Yeet, Central C, and Lancy Fox, listen to these songs first. Four Raws Mist featuring Rico Ace and Century, with co-signs from Young Lean, Jack Harlow, Cole Bennett, and Timothy Chalamet. SD Kid emerged as the 2025 breakout star of the very competitive UK underground. Yes, part of his appeal is the mystique, but there is also his hypnotic, haunting blend of ATL trap, jerk, cloud rap, and drill, led by production of Rafe 9 that has driven his rapid rise. Despite having only one album, Rebel, and a handful of singles, his late year surge, he's already surpassed 19 million monthly listeners on Spotify, suggests 2026 will be even bigger for the Scouse rapper. Um, Zookney. Okay, fans of Two Chains, T.I., and Young Nudie. Listen to these songs first. Kino Der Totten, Bromance Slayer Disease. Ooh. In 2026, aesthetics matter just as much as the music, and it's rare when an artist excels at both. Sword wielding Zookney does so with ease, blending the catchy hooks of 2010's ATL trap with the starkness of the Carti influenced underground wave. The Atlanta native cuts through with bouncy production, carefree songwriting reminiscent of prime era thug and a one of one medieval aesthetic that places him in a lane entirely his own. Dropping a pair of impressive projects in 2025, Slay Tanic and Night Shift. Zookney proves that the future of the Atlanta Underground isn't limited to ear muffling, screams and maxed out 808s. Fake mink. Oh no. Oh man. For fans of Netspan, Young Lean, and Xavier Soul Bass, listen to these songs first. LV Sandals with SD Kid and Rico Ace, Chinchilla, Music, and Me. How many up and coming rappers can say they've linked with Frank Ocean in Japan? Been brought out by Drake at Wildest Fest and appeared on stage at Playboy Cardi's LA tour stop. Essex born rapper Fake Mink has taken his sudden fame in stride, staying true to his off killer sound that mixes indie electronica, jerk, and cloud rap on tracks like Fidelio, Black Jeep, and Femi Guerrero. And Look at Me, produced by underground staple We Gon Be Okay. Fake Mink is now preparing a fully self-produced album, Terrified, and it's one of our most anticipated releases. After a year of non-stop motion, that this album will determine whether he lives up to the hype. Bunna B, for fans of Cupcake, Yum, Roscoe Dash. Oh shit. Rich Kids. Listen to these songs first. You got Bunner Summer, Hoes Me Mad with Cash Cobain, Mad Again. Bunna B may have had Atlanta's biggest come up of 2025. Unlike UK Nice and Pluto, who have flirted with other styles, Bunna B has stayed committed to bringing back the futuristic era, a late 2000s inspired sound that Metro Boomin put a spotlight on, merging light-hearted synths, dramatic strings, and a jubilant flow. The results speak for themselves. Tracks like Bunner Summer, In It, Mad Again, and the Carcero state anthem Free Him showcase a rapper with with a style that is sometimes goofy, sometimes acidic, funny, but always a great time. Excuse me. Zeddy Will, for fans of 41, Ice Spice, and Cash Cobain. Listen to these songs first. Get Jiggy with B Jax. Can't Go Broke remix. Twerking with Your Friends featuring Stay Solid Rocky. Um, Queensbridge has a reputation for producing rappers who are dead serious. So what do you do with someone like Zeddy Will, a QB native who wants to be taken seriously as a rapper, yet delivers his bars with a direct, nonchalant style that's unapologetically silly? Now, for those of you who may not know what QB stands for, it stands for Queensbridge. That's basically the area where Nas represents. Zeddy is deeply versed in hip hop history, and he channels that knowledge into some of the most addictive, party ready jams in New York City rap. Last year, he dropped two standout tracks: "Get Jiggy," hop, a house hop summer jam with New Jersey's B Jax, and "Can't Go Broke" remix, a slightly darker but still self-deprecating banger. Pluto, just like the planet, For fans of Sexy Red, um, Monaleo, Mellow Bucks. Listen to these songs first. Whim Whammy featuring YK Niece, Motion featuring Sexy Red. What the fuck? Some rappers spend their whole careers chasing a song of the summer anthem. For for Pluto, she got one with her second song recorded, Whim Whammy, which features frenemy YK Niece. Songs like that and Motion with Sexy Red might have established her within that nostalgic Atlanta sound. But she actually hits a lot more pockets, often channeling the energy from her collaborators. She does drill. Um, how you feeling with Narco Wick? She can be melodic and mournful. Keep your head, keep my head strong with Little Papa, and she could even make ballads. How you feeling with Rilo Rodriguez? Too slimy for fans of Laser Dim 700, Osama Sun, and Che or Chi, however you pronounce it. Um, Listen to these songs first. Meet Rock Vet. You thought Chi was extreme. Well, Meet Too Slimy, the Oklahoma bred rapper, sits at the cutting edge of internet rap, pulling from hyper pop, rage, digicore, and noise. His music is not for the weak, built around overstimulating blasts of bass distortion and bouncy rhythms. Everything is pushed to the limit, from aggressive auto tune to blown out 808s that feel like standing next to a subwoofer. It can be a lot, but when the formula clicks, it makes for especially catchy tracks like Meat, where a hypnotic synth melody and the looping shorty in love with the meat hook have you singing along long after the song ends. It might sound goofy to some, but Too Slimy is pushing rage rap to its outer edges. And the only real question is how much further he's willing to go in 2026. Tezas, for fans of Young Thug, Sab Baby, and Lil Keed. Listen to these songs first. Bada Bing, Bada Boom with Diamond, Outro, Brazy featuring Picasso. The underground collective way has always started the year strong with their rockerous underground sound cipher. The de facto leader of the collective is Tezis, who channels the warp, elastic energy of his mentor, Young Thug, twisting his voice through strange flows over airy psychedelic production. His music floats between chaos and melody filled with bars about fame, money, and desire. That sound has already drawn major attention. In a Kids Takeover interview, Tezza said Playboy Cardi, Young Thug, and NBA Youngboy all tried to sign him, with Thugger ultimately winning out. Notably, his performance with Diamond on Bada Bing, Bada Boom was a highlight of Young Thug's Complex Con set. Lilo, for fans of V's, Babyface Ray, and Luck Tyler. Listen to these songs first. Limbless, Bathing Ape, Perfect Blue. Lilo embodies the new Detroit, a rapper using low-key lyricism akin to a fast rapping Earl Sweatshirt. Tracks like Soldier, Forever in a Day, and Good for Your Health display the Detroit MC's affinity for wordplay. Lilo is a natural storyteller with precise lines and scam rap flows that playfully jump from quip to quip. Past efforts like the Sade sampling main event and the Babyface Ray cosign on the wall launched Lilo last year. New Detroit solidified his trajectory, positioning him as one of the strongest up and coming lyricists in his class. Fang, Feng, for fans of YT, Len, and Two Hollis. Listen to these songs first. Cali Crazy, XOXO, Kids from the West. Fang broke through in early 2024 with his debut single Swag, planting a flag for his bubbly Y2K sensibilities. His debut project, What the Fang, instantly distinguished him from his peers, um, finding him effortlessly flowing over colorful production on standouts like YOLO, Kids from the West, and XY. And he's still growing. The recently released Cali Crazy is a sharp um, deviation from that project, a whirring synth pop cut that spikes serotonin levels and plays like a sun-soaked H&M anthem. Think Wiz Khalifa and Empire of the Suns, the Trill. Wait a minute, Hurricane Wisdom. Oh no! Oh wow! Oh man! Oh shit! For fans of future Low Shimmy, Lil Baby, listen to these songs first. Drugs Calling remix featuring Little Baby, Wusa, On God, featuring Rock Baby. From Kendrick Lamar's Michael Jordan to Chief Keef's Kobe to Migos Charles Barkley, there have been plenty of great rap songs named after even greater basketball players. It's awesome to see another join the rafters, this time with Hurricane Wisdom's Giannis or Giannis, however you pronounce this. The only rap song named after a hooper to feature steel drums. Um, yeah, what is it, Giannis or the Giannis, however you pronounce that, was the breakout. The Tallahassee, Florida rapper kept working, often taking influences and samples from other artists and transforming them into his own bluesy concoction, like the future inspired banger Drugs Calling. The Triple X Tentacion sampling Hope, or the depressingly titled Monday, which flips the sample source of Ice Cube's It Was a Good Day. So Camo, for fans of Travis Scott, Don Toliver, and Lil Tecca. Listen to these songs first. Keep Steady, Soulless, Shot Cola, So Camo sound is hard to pin down. One moment he's singing falsettos over the R&B lace keys of Keep Steady. The next, he's delivering trap bangers like the Justin Bieber cosign 200. In 2025, he released his debut album, No Service, which dabbles in trap, neo soul, and R&B seamlessly, blending those influences into a polished, accessible collection of ear candy bops. YK Niece, for fans of Gucci Mane, OJ the Juice Man, and Rocco. Listen to these songs first. Take Me Through Dare, Dere, with Metro Boomin, Quavo, Bluesky, and DJ Spins. In it with Bunna B, Friend Do remix with Belly Gang, Cushington. Unlike Bunna B and Pluto, YK Niece has yet to release a solo album, but she's been on such a crazy feature run that leaving her out would be absurd. There's her song stealing verse on Metro Boomin's "Sunny Take Me Through There." Um, her her high energy appearance on Whammy, her peak shit talking on Bunna B's In it, the X-rated raps on Belly Gang, Cushington's Friend Duke, and even a sneaky heater on Bad Baby's Ridiculous Yams. Little Noonie for fans of Lucky, Chucky, and Skrilla. Um, Listen to these songs first. Mari Glock with Lil Psy, Ready or Not, in Action. Last month, Chicago rapper Lil Noonie got one of the most coveted endorsements in rap right now, the Northwest cosign. For some, this might be surprising. Lil Noonie is more rooted in drill than in any no, excuse me, in the zany, unhinged sounds of the rap underground that North usually aligns with. His songs are unsparingly dark and bleak, delivered in the breathless style young drill rappers favor. Even more extreme are the AI generated videos he's been making, which often depicts outrageous amounts of violence. Marco Plus for fans of Jid, Lupe Fiasco, and Smino. Listen to these songs first. Airmail, Out My Way with Smino, Jamal Crawford, and Boldy James. Atlanta rapper Marco Plus is proving that the South still has something to say. A spiritual successor to rappers like Jid, um, who has already co-signed him. Marco swims with the current of his beats rather than trying to fight it. Right, rather than trying to fight against it. Right. Let's see. Plus, lyrical dexterity was on full display last year during his Mafiathon freestyle with Kai Sanat. Momentum he's continued to build on ever since. He represents a bubbling lyrical rap renaissance alongside young spitters like New Jersey's Chris Patrick and fellow Atlantan um, um, Suave. These are artists carving their own lanes, bringing energy the game desperately needs. Babyface E, oh gosh. For fans of Rio the Young, OG, PZ, and Babytron, listen to these songs first. PTP remix featuring um Mona Leo. Country Time, Real Flex. There are, there have been a number of talented rappers to come out of Flint, Michigan since Rio the Young OG put the city on the map. But none are as promising as Babyface E, who who has been bubbling for a couple of years now and is ready to break out with his debut album, The Real Is Out, dropping in February. He has the Flint punchline style down pat with a sharp eye for the absurd and random, like when he raps, I keep Dookie on me like Johnny Test on Blackout. Oh, oh shit. La La Dill, DYL, for fans of Nino Payne and Scarface. Listen to these songs first. Wouldn't Believe featuring Lil Tony, Prayed for Night and Day featuring Babyface E, and One Up T. Detroit is known for birthing spitters, while the city's rappers are often associated with slick talk and cash heavy bravado. La Dill makes makes rap music that's deeply emotive, introspective, and increasingly spiritual. His latest album Hear My Cry, pulls from a wide spectrum of sample sources from Duke Ellington to Kid Cudi, but stands out for how locked in he is on confronting his inner demons and imagining what it means to emerge from the darkness. 13 Degrees for fans of Trippy Red, T Pain, and Lil Wayne. Listen to these songs first. The Problem Solver, Teardrops, Champagne. In just over a year, rising Chicago rapper 13 Degrees has turned heads with his unique approach and polished skills as a singer and MC. The self proclaimed ghetto hipster possesses an unabashed swagger, employing syrupy melodies reminiscent of early Soul Fade Go or mixtape era Thugger, and a nostalgic presence that could resonate with multiple generations. 13's breakout hit, The Problem Solver, shot the Black Fridays rapper to acclaim last summer. Its eye catching Tumblr esque visuals were just the first impression of a hook that dominated timelines for weeks. Um, Sturdy Youngin, for fans of Bay Swag, Jordan, Addy Tunji, Too Rare. Listen to these songs first. Tripping with all that Miz, all that Smiz, excuse me, and Zeddy will respectfully Bumba and all that Smiz. The grittier, dramatic sounds of Philly drill might dominate the city, but that doesn't mean there aren't rappers who just want to have fun. Sturdy Youngin takes familiar sounds from the past and speeds them into something you can dance to. Last year, he dropped Trippin' and Zeddy and partnered with Crime All That Smiz, which was a flip on Fergie's 2006 hit Clumsy. And he followed that up with his own spin on the No Limit classic Chopper style with Respectfully. Chef Boy, fans of Kendrick Lamar, J Rock, and YG. Listen to these songs first. Gang Gang featuring Rose Crans, Hop Out, YS448, and Hitter J3. I Like It Like This featuring RJ, Mr. LA, and G Perico. I Believe It. We got one coming, say less. With just 6 words, Kendrick Lamar, the best rapper in the world, co-signed one of his city's most promising young talents, Chef Boy, who blew up locally thanks to the success of Gang Gang, the the riot the riotous posse cut that is just one of many slappers featured on his debut, I Am Summer. On the surface, the track seems to just be another rap track celebrating the lawless nature of gang life, but it's really about something people from all walks of life can relate to, hanging out with your squad. And I be sliding down on Rosecrans with my close friends. He raps on the intro. Apollo Red 1 for fans of Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely. Oh man, Playboy Cardi. Oh shit. Listen to these songs first. Georgia Boy, Red Flag, Face Tattoos. Ew. Not doing that. As the latest figure in Opium's orbit, Apollo Red 1, Playboy Cardi's cousin, leans more melodic than his peers, drawing influence from indie acts like Girl in Red, who even inspired his name, and Claro. His sound offers a woozy, more restrained take on rage beats, backed by laid back flows that chronicle his come up and the struggles of newfound fame. With his upcoming project, Demon Heart Radio, Apollo has the biggest opportunity of his career under Cardi's wing. Few rappers can say one of one opium jacket. Got it from my cousin. Salamata for fans of Mike, Doja Cat, and Samara Sin. Listen to these songs first. You Know Who You Are featuring Mike Moonlight on Foil. With co-signs from Mike, standout appearances on the radar, and a rap style that merges versatile flows with incisive wordplay and a splash of Brooklyn spunk. Salamata made noise last year. The Happening, which dropped in December during the end of year rush, emerged as one of the year's most unexpected treats. Um, Headband. For fans of Youngboy Never Broke Again, Boozy Badass. Listen to these songs first. Boo and Ian Lyon. This is one of the newest names on the list, but Headband has gained so much momentum that it's hard to ignore him, especially since within the last couple of weeks he's had his breakout Boo become a viral hit on TikTok. A lot of the attention comes from how much the Baton Rouge rapper sounds like YB. But there's something charming about the song, which taps into New Orleans' long lineage of flipping horror movie sounds and merges it with a wacky video aesthetic reminiscent of A Nightmare on My Street. Little Tony for fans of Starlito, CEO Trail. Trayle, and Witch Doctor. Listen to these songs first. Can't Leave My Bible, Miss Key Overcame featuring Nino Pade. Google Lil Tony and you'll find several podcast interviews where the rapper talks about finding Jesus Christ. At just 21, he has lived a life going from time in jail to becoming a born again Christian rapper. Faith is a key part of his music, but he approaches without lecturing. Instead, he has a searching, at times heart-wrenching perspective. In some ways, he's kin to the Dungeon Family. Songs like Can't Leave My Bible and Talking to Jesus carry the grit and soul of a Witch Doctor track. Fat Mac. Oh, shit. For fans of Rod Wave, Lil Papa, Polo G, listen to these songs first. IRL, which is in real life. On God, Hit It, featuring Lil Tony. Alabama has quietly become a hotbed for rap talent over the years. From the vivid storytelling of No Cap to the bluesy vocals of Rilo Rodriguez. Fat Mac, who at one point weighed over 300 pounds but shed half of it partially due to a diet of perks and weed, combines elements of both. He entrenched in the genre of gut-wrenching emo street rap, but with a vocal delivery that is slightly higher pitched and more energetic than some of the more self-lacerating rappers of a similar ilk. Rico Ace. Fans of Dave, Skepta, Jim Legacy. Listen to these songs first. Getting It In, Hello, and Scatty. SD Kid and Fake Mink broke through, and frequent collaborator Rico Ace has been moving right alongside them. On SD's album Rebel, he appears on 4 of the project's 11 tracks, injecting grit and momentum into SD's dark, brooding world. Even when sharing records with SD, the chemistry feels less like a standard feature and more like a true partnership, with Rico often holding his own lyrically. Rico's catalog is still small, but that should change soon. SD has already teased that Rico's tape will kill everyone, with a U.S. tour alongside SD on the way. Rico Ace is the UK's best well kept secret. All right, all right. Let's go to Hit Boy. All right, Hit Boy isn't letting a recent break in at his studio slow him down. Instead, the three-time Grammy winner has turned the would-be setback into a source of inspiration, resulting in the just released freestyle Crowbars. The freestyle shared Sunday, January 14th, which was my birthday, 41, in case you didn't know, finds the acclaimed producer whose credits include Ye and Hove's Niggas in Paris and Travis Scott's Sickle Mode, among numerous other staples, reflecting on an early morning call he received alerting him to the break-in at his office and studio space. As Hit Boy goes on to note, the incident surveillance footage of which is included in the new Freestyle's official video marks the third time in 2 years he's been targeted by thieves. Jeez. Damn, man. Damn, are you fucking kidding me? How you gonna rob somebody's crib though, man, and take stuff? That is so fucking lame and fucking ridiculous right there. Ah, boy, that's crazy, man. Believe me, that's crazy. Okay. Man. All right, let's continue. Um Oh shit. This morning around 4 a.m., some idiots broke into my office studio and went through a hassle just to get next to nothing. The Goldfish artist wrote when sharing the freestyle to YouTube. I had my Grammys there and I know they wanted my jewels, but not today, champions. Fuck out of here. I did a freestyle called Crowbars. Watching the footage of these low lives going through my shit. If you know these clowns, tag them in the comments. I got cash for you. The as yet unidentified. Hold on, let me pause this. Yeah, the as yet unidentified individuals behind the break-in are mocked in Hit Boy's freestyle as looking foolish. With the producer reviewing, they broke a laptop, but ultimately made off with very little in the way of loot. The drive home, the point, Hit Boy is seen in the freestyle's official video holding his three Grammy trophies. Um, I've been through the storms. This is just more rain. He raps at one point. Hit Boy isn't alone in seeing his studio targeted by thieves this month. Last week, Sunny Digital told fans various pieces of music equipment, including keyboards, had been stolen from his studio space. I'm going to get this shit back, he said at the time. It's just the principle of it, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. Not as crazy as the Kim Kardashian shit that happened years ago when some thieves stole her jewelry and stuff. That's crazy, man. All these things are fucking crazy, man. And I'm not condoning that shit either. Let's see. ASAP Rocky A$AP Rocky. All right, so A$AP Rocky has continued his feud with Drake on his new album "Don't Be Dumb," sending more shots at the Six God. On the song "Stole Your Flow," Pretty Flacco appears to taunt Drizzy over his relationship with Rihanna, um, while accusing him of biting his style. Ha! Oh man. First you stole my flow, so I stole your bitch. He spits on the hard-hitting track before seemingly referencing Drake's alleged history of plastic surgery. Niggas getting BBLs. Lucky we ain't body shame. In an interview with the New York Times Popcast, shortly before the release of "Don't Be Dumb," A$AP Rocky all but confirmed that "Stole Your Flow" is aimed at his former fucking Problems collaborator. I think we all know who I'm talking about, he said. When he co-hosts Joe Coscarelli noted that the internet will most likely identify Drake as the target of the song. Rocky replied, "Yeah." However, the Harlem rapper gave a more vague answer when asked if "Stole Your Flow" is a clear-cut Drake diss. "It's for whoever thinks it's about them," he said. Rocky also opened up about his issues with with Drizzy, explaining, in quote, "I just started seeing people who started out as friends become foes. It seemed like they were unhappy for me, and and started sending shots. I think that's what led to any of our misunderstandings. It really, it really ain't smoke." He also appeared to rule out a reconciliation, saying, in quote, "It don't even need to be resolved for what?" And yeah, the pair's relationship soured in late 2023 when Drake appeared to diss A$AP Rocky and Rihanna on his album "For All the Dogs." "Why they make it sound like I'm still hung up on you? They could never be. Gal can't run me. Better him than me. Better it's not me." He rapped on "Fear of Heights." Drizzy also not so subtly um referenced Riri's album "Anti" by spinning, I'm anti, yeah, and the sex was average with you. Yeah, I'm anti because I had it with you. Okay, I'm auntie like your daddy's sister, auntie like a family picture, and I have way badder bitches than you. To be honest, yeah, that man, he's still with you. He can't leave you. Y'all go on vacation. I bet it's Antigua. That led to a lyrical back and forth between Rocky and Drake on songs like "Family Matters," "Future," and Metro Boomin's "Show of Hands" and Kid Cudi's "Wow." Oh shit. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my goodness, man. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy right there, man. All right, so all right, we're gonna go over I'm we're gonna go over a cartoon that I used to watch actually. I'm pretty sure y'all probably remember this cartoon actually called Street Sharks. And of course, obviously, the name of this episode is "A Jawsome Return to the Streets for Some Action Fun." All right, so there you go, right there. We're gonna get to this TV show checkouts dedicated to a classic, timeless, throwback cartoon, Street Sharks. Let's get to it. All right. All right. Street Sharks is an American animated television series about the adventures of crime fighting half man, half sharks. The series was produced by DIC Productions, LP, and and Bobot Entertainment, and was initially syndicated as part of the latter's Amazing Adventures programming block. The show promoted a line of action figures by Mattel. The creators were David Siegel and Joe um, Galliani of Mr. Joe's Really Big Productions. Yeah, so the voice actors includes Terry Burner, Pam Carter, Gary Chalk, Ian James, Corlett, Matt Hill, Jim Hoggett, J. Michael Lee, Jason Mikas, Doug Parker, Andrew Rennells, Lee Takar, Tony Tony Wheat, Tony Wheat, Tony Wheat, yeah, Wike, and D. Kevin Williams. Yeah, so there you go, right there, man. And it only did like 3 seasons. Shit, and it premiered in 1994 and it ended in 1997. Yeah, September 7, 1994, May 18, 1997. So in 1986, the show was retitled Dino Avengers, featuring Street Sharks with the addition of an extraterrestrial team of dinosaurs named the Dino Avengers, who were paired with the Street Sharks. The show also moved to ABC. The Dino Avengers would later receive their own short-lived spin-off where they were named the Extreme Dinosaurs. The series features theme music by Michael Bangiat, uh, Bangiat, and Lois Blake. Additional songs were written by Megan Cavallari and David Goldsmith. All right, so let's see. All right, let's go to the overviews and stuff. Okay, so the actors who played the cartoon characters, Ripster, Lee Takar, and Jab, Matt Hill, Streaks, Andrew Rennells, Big Slam Moo. Sorry about that with this noisy cars. Yeah, Slam Moo. Big Slam Moo, voiced by D.K. Williams. Dr. Robert Bolton, voiced by D. Kevin Williams. Sir Thomas Bolton, an ancestor of the protagonist who is encountered in the episode Sir Shark-a-Lot. He is the target of Paradigm's time travel excursion to destroy the Bolton family. Oh boy. Lena Mack, voiced by Pam Carter. Benz, voiced by Jim Hoggett. Moby Lick, the opposite of Moby Dick, folks. Oh shit. Yeah. Moby Lick. Who's that played by? Hold on. Oh shit. Nah. Oh, Jets Taylor. Okay. Rock's voiced by Lee Takar. Tony Week. Tony Week. Oh, Tony White. Excuse me. Tony White. Voiced by David Horn. No. Yeah, David Horn, voiced by Tony White. Okay, El Swardo, voiced by Gary Chalk. Man to Man, voiced by D. Kevin Williams. Dino Avengers. Oh boy, I ain't gonna have time to go through all this stuff though, man. But anyway, and I think you get the idea of all these episodes and stuff. So basically, So yeah, there you go. Not gonna really go into all this stuff though, but anyway. So that's pretty much what it is though, man. I mean, I'll tell you this though, man. Street Sharks was my one of my favorite cartoons actually growing up though, compared to The Simpsons and other cartoons and stuff after. So yeah, there you go right there. All right, um time for another segment right here, which is the Chillax Man Cave Popcorn Lounge. All right. All right, let's do this. Hey, what did I use last time? I don't know. Anyway, let's do this. This is where I go over some movies that actually came out years ago, old and new, how it did in the box office and stuff like that. So we're gonna go over it right now, actually, starting with let me see. Yeah, let's start with hang on one second here, man. Let's start off with Taxi, ladies first, because of Queen Latifah. Okay, so here you go, right there. So, Taxi is a 2004 action comedy film directed by Tim Story and starring Queen Latifah, Jimmy Fallon, who is the TV late show host on his own late talk show, been around for years. Giselle Bundchen in her film about her film debut, Jennifer Esposito and Anne Margaret. An incompetent New York City police officer is banned from driving and comes to rely on a talented taxi driver to help him solve a series of bank robberies. The film is a remake of the 1998 French film of the same name. So yeah, there you go. Um, and the budget for this film was $25 million, and of course, the film is set in New York City. The film, the motor police detective convinces a taxi cab driver to help him track down a Brazilian gang of bank robbers and to find out how the gang transports the stolen money. The detectives is soon fired for insubordination, but the duo proceeds to confront the gang. The film was released by 20th Century Fox on October 6, 2004 in the United States. The film was panned by critics. Okay, let's go to the reception of the box office though. So Taxi was released on October 2004 in 3001 theaters and opened at number 4 at the box office with $12 million in the opening weekend. It went on to gross $36.9 million domestically and $34.4 million from the other markets for a worldwide total of $71.3 million against a production budget of $25 million. That's $25 million. All right, one moment. All right, critical response on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes. 9% of 105 critics' reviews are positive. The website's consensus reads, in quote, silly and unfunny remake of a French movie of the same name. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 27 out of 100 based on 27 critics, indicating generally unfavorable reviews. Audiences polled by Cinema Score gave the film an average grade of B plus on an A plus to F scale. Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle wrote, in quote, how one likes Taxi has everything to do with how one responds to the hapless cop character played by Jimmy Fallon. LaSalle was also critical of the car chases, calling them lackluster and fairly unconvincing. Damn. Kurt Honeycutt of the Hollywood Reporter wrote, in quote, this thoroughly repetitive, ill-conceived, and poorly executed effort, with the emphasis on the word effort, defeats these two talented people more than not. Damn. Robert Kohler of Variety called the film embarrassing evidence that even a rag French original can be better than its American remake, failing to improve on the inept but hugely successful 1998 Luck Besson vehicle. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times stated, "Oh, this is a bad movie and only gets worse as it plows along." Megan Lehman of the New York Post dubbed the film Taxi Drive and said, this witless action comedy begins to insult the audience's intelligence from the opening scene. Claudia Puig of USA Today wrote, a surprisingly funny female-driven romp as long as you don't question too many plot particulars. And, of course, Giselle Bundchen got Giselle Bundchen and along with Jimmy Fallon sings "This Will Be an Everlasting Love." Both got a nomination for the TV. No, it got a nomination for the Teen Choice Awards. Giselle Bundchen for Choice Movie Villain and Choice Movie Female Star Break. Choice Movie Female Breakout Star, and of course Choice Movie Rockstar Moment. Choice Movie Rockstar Moment. All right, so all right, let's go to all right, let's go to hang on a second here. All right, let's go to Torque. And then I'll go to the next one. All right, so Torque is a 2004 American action film directed by Joseph Kahn, written by Matt Johnson, and produced by Neil H. Moritz. The film stars Martin Henderson, Ice Cube, Monet Mazur, Adam Scott, Matt Schulze, Jamie Presley, and Jay Hernandez. Its plot follows Kerry Ford, a biker, discovers and stows away motorcycles filled with crystal meth, but a gangster, Henry James, has plans to recover his drugs. He frames Ford for the murder of his rival Trey's brother, who heads the Reapers, a biker gang. Ford goes on the run in an attempt to clear his name, while the FBI and multiple groups of motorcycle-mounted marauders chase after him. Let's see. So, yeah, so the budget for this film, yeah, let's talk about that. Torque was theatrically released on January 16th, 2004 in the United States by Warner Brothers. The film underperformed at the box office, grossing $46.5 million worldwide against a against production budget of $40 million and received mixed to negative reviews from critics, with common criticism regarding the screenplay and direction, though the action sequences were singled out for praise. It was nominated for several Taurus Awards for its stunts. Yeah, people don't really care about the fucking critics though, you know what I'm saying? They don't really care about that though, man. And the soundtrack goes like this actually. So you got Someday by Nickelback, True Nature, Jane's Addiction, Forever, Kid Rock, Lean Low, Young Bloods, Out of Control, Hoober Stank, Master of Light, Monster, Magnet, Lap Dance, Nerd, Fire and Flame, Robbie McIntosh, Play It Loud, MXPX, Yesterday's, Pennywise, and Push It by Static X. Similarities to the Fast and the Furious movie. The film has been called The Fast and the Furious on Motorcycles, referring to the use of many of the same thematic elements between the two films. The film's director, Joseph Kahn, said his intention was to make a piss take version of the Fast and the Furious franchise, even though both movies were produced by Neil H. Moritz. However, Torque was made by Warner Brothers, while the Fast and the Furious is made by Universal. Torque specifically references the Fast and the Furious at one point, taking a line directly from the film. Henderson's character Ford borrows Vin Diesel's line, "I live my life a quarter mile at a time," to which Shane replies, "That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard." Matt Schultz, who portrayed the film's antagonist Henry James, also appeared in The Fast and the Furious, playing Dominic Toretto's childhood friend and member of the truck hijacking team. Vince Schultz would later reprise his role as Vince in Fast 5, the fifth installment in the series that transitioned from street racing to an action-packed heist series. Another reference to The Fast and the Furious is, since Torque focused on motorcycles, it does show a street race in the beginning involving a quarter-mile race between a Mitsubishi Eclipse and an Acura RSX, with the protagonist Carrie Ford beating the two cars on his Aprilia RSV motorcycle. Also, when Ford rides past the road sign at the start of the film, it spins and reads, "Cars suck." Oh wow! All right, so the film opened at number 4 at the U.S. box office, ranking in $9,970,557 in its first opening weekend. The movie's theatrical run took in a total of $21,215,059 in the United States, and worldwide $46,546,197 against a production budget of approximately $40 million. Reception on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes: 22% of 113 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 4.3 out of 10. The website's consensus reads, "Silly and noisy, Torque is stylish fun for the MTV crowd." Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 41 out of 100 based on 29 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. A positive review came from Kevin Thomas of LA Times, calling it a terrific action picture. Stylish, unpretentious fun. Jeremy Wheeler at AllMovie rated Torque 3 stars out of 5, stating, "Torque is a shot of adrenaline straight to the heart, eliciting so many moments of amped up and overblown excitement that those with medical conditions Um, should probably stay 10 blocks away. This little slice of joy relishes in being abundantly over the top at every explosive turn, excuse me. The film has since gone on to acquire a cult. Oh gosh, here we go again with the word cult. I'm gonna say timeless classic following among sports bike racers and enthusiasts, as well as racing film fans. It also it has also garnered some appreciation for over the top stunts, fast paced and stylish action sequences. Torque was nominated for several World Stunt Awards, including Best Specialty Stunt and Best Overall Stunt by a Stuntman. So there you go, right there. Now, another another movie on wheels that I want to go over is Premium Rush. I'm pretty sure some of you may have heard of this movie before. I actually saw this movie along with Torque. I actually saw this movie actually. All right, Premium Rush is a 2012 American action thriller film directed by David Coep and written by Coep and John Camps. The film stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Shannon, Daniela Ramirez, and Jamie Chung. It follows a bicycle messenger chased around New York City by a corrupt police officer who wants an envelope the messenger has. It was released on August 24th, 2012. Yeah. And yeah, so the film received mixed to positive reviews with an overall approval rating of 74% at Rotten Tomatoes. Damn. All right, the production. Let's go over the production, man. All right, writer director David Coep developed Premium Rush and co-wrote the screenplay with John Camps. They aimed to have elaborate chase sequences like a William Friedkin film. Excuse me. Principal photography began in mid-July 2010 and ended by early September 2010 in New York City. Gordon-Levitt was injured during filming on August 1st, 2010 when he rode into the back of a taxi. The impact sent Gordon-Levitt flying into the rear windshield of the taxi, slashing his arm, which acquired 31 stitches. 31 stitches, damn. That shit has to fucking hurt, man. A shot of the aftermath of that accident is included as a scene during the credits of the film. Location included Columbia University, Central Park, and Canal Street. Oh shit. Yeah, that's crazy. Huh. That's ridiculous, man. Now we go to the reception. So, um, in its opening weekend, Premium Rush opened at number 8, grossing $6 million. The film grossed $20.3 million in North America, while grossing $10.8 million in foreign markets, totaling a worldwide income of $31.1 million against a production budget of $35 million. So that means that shit didn't do well in the box office. Critical response on Rotten Tomatoes. The film has an approval rating of 75% based on 165 reviews, with an average rating of 6.30 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads, "It's built out of familiar parts, but no matter how formulaic Premium Rush's storyline might seem, it's elevated by high-octane action and enjoyable performances. On Metacritic, the film has a score of 66 out of 100, based on 36 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film a grade B on scale of A to F. Chicago Sun-Times critic Roger Ebert awarded the film 3.5 3.5 stars out of 4, calling it a breakneck chase movie. Okay. Yeah. The next movie I'm going to talk about is that's also on wheels. It's called The Climb. The Climb is a 2019 American comedy drama film written, produced by and starring Michelangelo Covino and Kyle Marvin. Covino also directs, while Gail Rankin, Talia Balson, George Wendt, and um, Judith Godre, Godreci also star. Based on Covino and Marvin's short film of the same name, the plot follows two friends and looks into their lives over several years. Okay. Yeah, so there you go, right there. It's also R-rated. Damn, shit, damn, son, $3 million budget, and it didn't make its money back. That sucks, man. The film had its world premiere at the Cannes Film Festival in an uncertain regard section on May 17, 2019. It was released on November 13, 2020 by Sony Pictures Classics and received positive reviews from critics. Let's see. Box office, it's in its domestic opening weekend. The film grossed $103,500 from 408 theaters. Critical response on review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 90% based on 121 reviews with an average rating of 7.8 out of 10. The website's critics consensus reads, "The Climb uses the complicated bond between two friends to dissect male friendships in an engaging and frequently funny fashion." Metacritic reports a weighted average score of 82 out of 100 based on 26 critics, indicating universal acclaim. Sounds pretty nice though, man. Let's see. What's this? All right. Let's see. So, The Charm City Kings is a 2020 American drama film directed by Angel Manuel Soto, from a screenplay by Sherman Payne and a story by Chris Boyd, Kirk Sullivan, and Barry Jenkins. It is based on the 2013 documentary 12 O'Clock Boys by Lotfi Nathan. It stars J. High Diallo Winston, Meek Mill, Will Catlett, and Tiana Paris. Not sure what that means though, man. Also another R-rated movie. Let's see. The film had its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival on January 7th, 2020. It was released on October 8th, 2020 by HBO Max. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith served as the executive producers. The film was removed from HBO Max in July 2022. Damn. In September 2018, it was announced that J. High Diallo Winston, Will Catlett, and Tiana Paris had joined the cast of the film, with Angel Manuel Soden directing from a screenplay by Sherman Payne and a story by Kirk Sullivan, Chris Boyd, and Barry Jenkins. Overbrook Entertainment produced the film with Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith as executive producers, and Sony Pictures Classics distributing the film, with the film being an adaptation of a documentary 12 O'Clock Boys. In October 2018, Meek Mill joined the cast of the film. All right. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 79% based on reviews from 57 critics with an average rating of 7.2 out of 10. The site's critics consensus reads, "Charm City Kings falls shy of more effective, similarly themed coming-of-age films. but strong direction and engaging performances make its flaws easy to forgive. At Metacritic, the film received a weighted average score of 62 out of 100 based on 13 reviews from mainstream critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Nick Allen of RogerEbert.com reviewed the film from its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival and called it an incredible triumph from a slew of fresh talent. All right, let's see. Let's see. Um, hang on a second here. Hang on. All right, the Motorcycle Diaries. Um, is a 2004 biographical coming of age road film directed by Walter Sal, excuse me, from a screenplay by Jose Rivera based on Chi Chi Guevara's 1995, excuse me, memoir of the same name, and Alberto Granado's memoir Che Guevara, The Making of a Revolutionary. The film recounts the 1952 expedition, initially by motorcycle across South America by Guevara and Granado, observing the life of the imp- excuse me, impover- impoverished indigenous peasantry through the trip. Both of them witnessed the social classes struggle in Latin America. Oh boy, that's crazy, man. Another R-rated movie. Let's see. Okay. And let me see. It stars Gael Garcia Bernal as Guevara. And let me see. Let's see who's in this thing. Rodrigo de la Serna as Granado. The film had its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival on January 15, 2004, and was later added into the main competition of the 57th Cannes Film Festival, where it won the prize of the Ecumenical Jury. Ecumenical Jury. It was received with positive reviews from critics. At the 77th Academy Awards, Rivera was nominated for the Best Adapted Screenplay category, while hold on, you Uruguayan Uruguay hold on Uruguayan singer Jorge Drexler won the Best Original Song category for Al Otro Lado del Rio. Yeah, please forgive me, folks, if I'm actually if I'm mispronouncing things. I do apologize. So there you go, right there. Let's see the production. All right, so let's go to the production here. So the film shows what we were, which was two young men, boys, really, who went looking for adventure and found the truth and tragedy of our homeland. Um, Gael Garcia Bernal agreed to reprise his role as young Che Guevara, having previously portrayed him in the television film Fidel. To prepare for the role, he went through 6 months of intense preparation. This groundwork included reading every biography about Guevara, traveling to Cuba to speak with Guevara's family, and consulting with Guevara's then still living travel partner Alberto Granado. Despite being in his 80s, Granado was taken on as an advisor by Sal's and enthusiastically followed the film crew as they retraced his former journey. Paul Webster, the film's executive director, no, excuse me, executive producer, stated that the chi of the Motorcycle Diaries is more akin to Jack um, Kerouac or Neil Cassidy than Marx or Lenin, describing the film as giving the audience a glimpse of the young, idealistic Ernesto Guevara before he became Che, the legend. Every generation needs a journey story. Every generation needs a story about what it is to be transformed by geography, what it is to be transformed by encounters with cultures and people that are alien from yourself. And you know that age group 15 to 25, that's the perfect generation to get on a motorcycle, to hit the road, to put on your backpack and just go out. Moreover, um, Garcia Bernal, um, who is Mexican, adopted an Argentine accent and spent 14 weeks reading the books of Jose Marti. Karl Marx and Pablo Neruda. Garcia Bernal told reporters, I feel a lot of responsibility. I want to do it well because of what she represents to the world. He is a romantic, he is a political consciousness that changed Latin America. According to Garcia Bernal, the role crystallized his own sense of duty because Guevara decided to live on the side of the mistreated, to live on the side of the people who have no justice and no voice, and summarizing the similarities between his transformation and Guevara's. Garcia Bernal um, posits that my generation is awakening and we're discovering a world full of incredible injustice. Granado later stated that he appreciated the film's effort to dig beneath the mythical Chi, whose defiant image appears on t-shirts and posters around the world to reveal the flawed flesh and blood Ernesto beneath. Let's see. Wow. Um, we were reenacting a journey that was done 50 years ago, and what's surprising is that the social problems of Latin America are the same, which is heartbreaking in a way. But it also makes you feel how important it is to tell the story. In a journey that lasts 8 months, the partners travel over 14,000 kilometers. That's 8,700 miles from Argentina through Chile, Peru, and Colombia to Venezuela. Key locations along the journey described in the film include in Argentina, Buenos Aires, Miramar, Villa, Villa, um, Giselle, San Martin de Los Andes, Lago Frias, Patagonia, and Nahuel Huapi Lake in Chile. Temuco, Los Angeles, Valpara, Valpa, Valparaiso, and the Atacama Desert, and Chuquicamata in Peru, um, Cuzco, Machu Picchu, Lima, the San the San Pablo Leaper colony, as well as Leticia, Colombia, and Caracas, Venezuela. Um, Reviewer Nick Cohen of the Daily Telegraph described the scenery as visually stunning while remarking that the cinematography of fog-cloaked mountains, lush green forests, and sunburnt deserts is breathtakingly beautiful enough to serve as a travel avert for the entire continent. Tourist Trails, the Observer reported that shortly after the film's release, tour operators in the region received a surge of inquiries that, with some of them even offering Che Guevara themed trips where travelers could follow in the footsteps of the revolutionary icon. The crew filmed in the same San Pablo Leaper colony that Guevara himself had visited. According to Burno, 85% of the people suffering leprosy in the film were actual leapers, with some of them having lived there when Chi and Granado worked at the colony. Um, let's see. In fact, when Granado returned with the film crew to the leprosarium of San Pablo, he found some of the people he had treated half a century earlier, remarking that it was wonderful and amazing that they could still remember me. Granado was also pleased that buildings constructed for the scenes shot at the lep- leprosarium were afterwards used by the patients themselves. The scene, which Guevara's character swimming across to the other side of the river, was filmed during 3 nights in which Burno swam across the actual Amazon River. Okay. All right, critical response. The Motorcycle Diaries may not provide any satisfactory answers as to how a 23-year-old medical student went on to become arguably the most famous revolutionary of the latter half of the 20th century. But it has an undeniable charm in that it imbues the memories of youth with a sense of altruism and purity, which are complemented by the scenery. It's an incomplete portrait to be sure, but it's a gorgeous depiction of two best friends riding unknowingly into the history books. The Motorcycle Diaries was released to very positive reviews by critics and received a standing ovation at the 2004 Sundance Film Festival. The New York Times film critic A.O. Scott wrote that in Mr. Sal's hands, what might have been a schematic story of political awakening becomes a lyrical exploration of the sensations and perceptions from which a political understanding of the world emerges. Gregory Weinkauf of the Dallas Observer espoused that the film delivers as both biography and road movie and proves itself a deceptively humble epic, an illuminating part of the Chi legacy. Claudia Puig of USA Today postulated that the movie achieves an impressive blend of emotional resonance and light entertainment, while describing it as more coming of age story than biopic and a transformative adventure well worth watching. Carrie Peterson of the Gainesville Sun referred to the film as a gorgeous poetic adventure. Jeez. Paula, hold on. Paula Nachak of the Seattle Post Intelligencer praised director Sal's by remarking that he presents the evolutionary course of a young man who coincidentally became the dorm room poster boy for an idealistic generation and captures the lovely, heart and eye opening all day to youthful possibility with affection and compassion. Washington Post critic Destin Thompson lent praise for the film's starring actor by observing that what Burnout and this well-wrought movie conveys so well is the charisma that would soon become a part of human history. And yes, T-shirts. Among the film's detractors was Roger Ebert of the Chicago Times, who described the film's positive reviews as a matter of political correctness. I think it is uncool to be against Che Guevara. Ebert also criticized the film's characterization simply as a film. The Motorcycle Diaries is attenuated and tedious. We understand that Ernesto and Alberto are friends, but that's about all we find out about them. They develop none of the complexities of other on the road couples. Nothing is startling or poetic. Jessica Winter of the Village also the Jessica Winter of the Village Voice also criticized the film's simplistic representation of the peasantry, describing the young man's encounters with conscious pricking, generically noble locals who are occasionally assembled to face the camera in a still life of heroic art directed suffering. So the film also received criticism for the positive representation of Guevara as a youthful idealist. Anthony Daniels, an outspoken critic of Guevara's, argued that the film helps to continue his wrongful glorification, noting the film is thus the cinematic equivalent of the Che Guevara T-shirt. It is morally monstrous and emotionally trivial. Franz Weiser agreed, saying that the film's narrative is dominated by reductive images of Guevara as an idealistic, lovable rogue. Online review aggregator Metacritic gives the film a score of 75 out of 100 based on 37 reviews, indicating generally favorable reviews. Meanwhile, Rotten Tomatoes records an 83% approval rating based on 157 reviews, with an average rating of 7.5 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, "The Motorcycle Diaries is heartfelt and profound in its rendering of the formative experiences that turned Ernesto Che Guevara into a famous revolutionary." Furthermore, British historian Alex von Tunzelman, who reviews films at The Guardian for historical accuracy, graded the film an A minus in history, while giving the film a B in entertainment. After comparing scenes from the film to the actual diaries, Tunzelman posited that the Motorcycle Diaries gets a lot right. It's an entertaining and accurate portrayal of the formative youth of a revolutionary icon. Now, on to the awards. Cannes Film Festival, Francois Chalas Award, Walter Salles Prize of the Ecumenical Jury, Walter Salles Technical Grand Prize, Eric Gautier, 2004. Let's see. Donostia San Sebastian International Film Festival Award, Audience Award, Walter Salles, 2004. Academy Awards, Oscar, Best Achievement in Music, written for motion pictures. Original song, Jorge Drexler for the song Al Otro Lado del Rio, 2005. Argentine Film Critics Association Awards, Best Actor, Rodrigo de la Serna. Best Music, Gustavo Santaolalla. Excuse me, San Santa Olala, excuse me. Um, Best Adapted Screenplay, Jose Rivera, 2005. British Academy of Film and Television Arts, Best Film Not in the English Language, Michael Nozick, Edgar Tenenbaum, Karen Tenkhoff, Walter Salles, Anthony Asquith Award for Film Music, Gustavo Santa Ola La, 2005. Goya Awards, Goya Best Adapted Screenplay, Jose Rivera, 2005. Independent Spirit Awards, Independent Spirit Award, Best Cinematography, Eric Gautier. Best Debut Performance, Rodrigo de la Serna, 2005. Oscars controversy. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has very specific eligibility rules for what was known at the time as the Best Foreign Film, the Best Foreign Language Film Award. This film, being a co-production between many countries, was ruled ineligible because it didn't have sufficient elements from any of the countries to qualify. Focus Features co-president David Lind responded to the ruling by saying, "It's a truly indigenous movie, but in this case, that doesn't mean one country. It means the world. The success of the film overseas affirms how audiences are loving it. We are moving ahead as planned when we bought it at Sundance. The film was campaigned for all the other categories it was eligible for, which was the majority of them." Yeah. And of course, last but not least, another bike movie, the Bikeriders. The Bikeriders, another R-rated movie, is a 2023 American crime drama film written and directed by Jeff Nichols and starring Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, Michael Shannon, Mike Feist, Boyd Holbrook, Damon Harriman, Bo Knapp, Emery Cohen, Carl Guzman, Toby Wallace, and Norman Reedus. Its plot, inspired by the photo book of the same title by Danny Lyon, depicts the lives of the Vandals Motorcycle Club, a fictional version of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. Okay. All right, so yeah, there you go. So the Bikeriders premiered at the 50th Telluride Film Festival on August 31st, 2023, and was released in the United States on June 21st, 2024. Originally scheduled to be released theatrically in the United States on December 1st, 2023. By 20th Century Studios, the release was delayed due to the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. Ultimately, Focus Features acquired the film rights from producer New Regency. The film received a positive reception and grossed $36 million worldwide. Actually, 36.3. All right, so the production of the Bikeriders is named after Danny Lyon's photo book of the same title, which filmmaker Jeff Nichols read for the first time in 2003 when discovering the book at his brother's apartment in Memphis, Tennessee. The story's Vandals MC is inspired by the book's detailing of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, Lion is portrayed in the film by Mike Faced. Um, since 2004, Nichols had mentioned the project to Michael Shannon, who has starred in all his films, on the set of each collaboration while making the short film Long Way Back Home in 2018. Shannon quipped that he had been talking about that damn idea for so long. By 2022, Nichols wrote the screenplay from his original story idea. New Regency agreed to produce the film in May 2022. The project was officially announced with Nichols attached as director in August 2022, with Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, and Tom Hardy on board to star. Nichols cast Comer after sitting on uh, two awards two awards panels that honored her performance on the one-person Broadway show Prima Facie. And after hearing good things about her from Adam Driver, who co-starred with her in The Last Duel, he met with Hardy for the first time at his London residence, admitting to leaving the meeting kind of punch drunk before seeing a performance of Comer's in Prima, Prima Facie at the Harold Pinter Theater in the West End. The rest of the ensemble came on board soon after. Principal photography began in Cincinnati, Ohio in October 2022 and concluded in December. So that was 3 months. Several actors, except Shannon and a few others, learned how to ride a motorcycle for the film. Butler mentioned a motorcycle accident on set. We were doing a night shoot and hit a patch of wet leaves, and I went down, but I thankfully landed on my feet. Adam Stone was the cinematographer, and during post production, David Wingo composed the score. Let me see who this Jodie Comer is. She's 32. Let me see what her damn. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so all right, let's go over this actually. So yeah, so what was this? All right, so the Bikeriders grossed $21.7 million in the United States and Canada and $14.5 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $36.3 million. In the United States and Canada, the Bikeriders, was released alongside The Exorcism and Thelma, and was projected to gross between $8 to $10 million from 2,665 theaters in its opening weekend. It ended up debuting to $9.7 million, finishing in third behind Holdovers, Inside Out 2, and Bad Boys Ride or Die. In its second and third weekends, the film made $3.3 million and $1.3 million respectively. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's go to the critical response. On the review aggregator, Website Rotten Tomatoes, 80% of 274 critics' reviews are positive with an average rating of 6.9 out of 10. The website's consensus reads, fueled by a charismatic cast and the gritty authenticity of writer-director Jeff Nichols' approach. The Bikeriders offers a conventional yet impactful look at motorcycle culture. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 70 out of 100 based on 53 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B on an A plus to F scale, while those polled by PostTrack gave it a 73% positive score. All right, so there you go, man. That was Bikeriders, the R-rated movie. Okay, so here's what's going on here. Let me see. Hang on 1 second. All right, so we gotta talk about GameStop closing its locations and stuff. Which is pretty sad though, man, actually. Pretty sad, actually. Unfortunately, that's pretty sad. All right, let's go over the story actually. Okay, this story really caught my attention, so I'm actually going to go over it right now, actually. So let's get to it. Yeah. All right, time for the video games chamber. We gotta talk about GameStop. Unfortunately, it's actually closing its locations, and you're probably wondering how come. Yeah, you're probably wondering why this is happening, though. All right. So there's a couple GameStop related stories that I want to get to actually. So unfortunately, let's get to it. According to USA Today, video game retailer GameStop is closing stores across the country. USA Today network sites confirmed. GameStop did not respond to USA Today's multiple requests for comment, but closures have been reported in states such as Ohio, California, and Alabama. In a March 2025 filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, GameStop said it planned on closing a significant number of additional stores in fiscal 2025, which ends on January 31st, 2026 this year, which is last month, per the documents. And Documents GameStop said a significant amount of customers have chosen to download games instead of buying games physically in stores. The current consoles from Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft have facilitated download technology, GameStop wrote. If consumers' preference for downloading video game content in lieu of physical software continues to increase, our business and financial performance may be adversely impacted. When the documents were filed, GameStop said the company closed 590 stores during fiscal year 2024 and was operating 3,203 stores worldwide. The company had previously announced plans to sell its operations in France and Canada. And of course, as of February 1st, 2025, GameStop had 2,325 stores within the United States, most of which were in Texas. The company also invested in Bitcoin, purchasing a 4,710 Bitcoin worth over $443 million. The company invested in the digital currency between May 3rd and June 10th for cash per a press release. Since stores have begun closing, an unofficial list of GameStop closures has made its rounds online based on emails sent to customers and signs posted at stores. Here's the rundown on which GameStop locations have closed so far, according to those reports, and what GameStop has confirmed. So, GameStop store closures, according to the signage posted on storefronts and online media reports across the USA Today network. GameStop has closed this year in over 12 states, such as California, South Carolina, and Iowa. USA Today has requested a complete list and comment. So here's the list. So we got Alabama. Per the Montgomery Advertiser, Alabama stores that have or will close in January 2026 includes Birmingham, 4507 Riverview Parkway, Suite 107, Troy Plaza, 1410 Highway 231 South, Hartselle 1199 Highway 31 Northwest, Suite H. California stores have started to close in California per the Stockton record. As of January 8th, confirmed closures so far include the location at 7910 North Lower Sacramento Road, Suite D. Connecticut, Enfield Square Mall, 90 Elm Street. Lisbon, Crossroads at Lisbon, 157 River Road. Newington, 2997 Berlin Turnpike, Stratford Square Shopping Center, 411 Barnum Avenue. Waterbury, Brass Mills Mall, 495 Union Street. Delaware includes Bear, 1015 Governor's Place, Dover, 3084, Dover Circle, Milford, 941, and DuPont. Rehoboth Beach, 18701 Coastal Highway. Wilmington, 4345 Kirkwood Highway. Wilmington, 4737 Concord Pike. Iowa includes Iowa City, 1011 Highway 1 West, Waterloo, 1515 Flaming Drive. Mississippi, Vicksburg, 2310 Iowa Boulevard, Biloxi, 2404 Pass Road, Biloxi, 506 Larcher Boulevard, Suite 2306, Clinton, 1011 Hampstead Boulevard, Corinth, 2201 Virginia Lane, Greenville, 1831 Highway 1 South, Grenada, 1550 Jameson Drive, Picayune, 230 Frontage Road, New Jersey, Brooklyn, New York City. Actually, Brooklyn, New York City, 2141 86th Street, Bayonne, 200 205 LaFontaine Way, Deptford, 2000 Clements Bridge Road, Newark, 786 Broad Street, North Bergen, 2100 88th Street, Suite F4, Rockaway, 301 Mount Hope Avenue, Somerdale, 711 East Eve Sham Avenue, Summer Point, 15 Bethel Road, South Plainfield, 4959 Stelton Road, Sakasuma, Sakasuna, 275 East, Route 10 East, Ohio, Canton, 3016 Atlantic Boulevard, Northeast, Canton, 4328 Tuscarawas Street, West, Pennsylvania, Richboro, 800 Bustle Town Pike, Suite A2, Warminster, 892 West Street Road, Willow Grove, 2500 Westmoreland Road, South Carolina. Oh, wow. In South Carolina, the Spartanburg store closed at 200 Dawn Red Drive had a sign on its door in early January starting that the location was slated for closure effective January 8th. So there you go right there. There you go. So on to some New York stores actually that happened. According to the New York Post, GameStop is pulling the plug on some 30 New York stores at part of a nationwide shutdown that will wipe out more than 470 locations by the end of the month, according to an online compilation of the closures. The New York shutdowns span every corner of the state from the New York City and Long Island to Westchester, the Hudson Valley, and upstate, and include both mall-based and standalone locations. In the Big Apple, multiple GameStop stores were set to go dark across the 5 boroughs, according to the compilation, which was based on publicly available info about recently closed branches on GameStop's official site. A South Bronx store is already closed, while Brooklyn locations in Bensonhurst, Brownsville, and downtown was slated for shutdowns later this month. GameStop is also shrinking its Long Island footprint with stores in Valley Stream, Rosedale, and West Islip on the chopping block. The company has shuttered a White Plains location and a Yonkers store at the Cross County Center too. Upstate and suburban New York were heavily represented on the list. Closures were planned in Buffalo, Rochester, Middletown, Poughkeepsie, Plattsburgh, Ithaca, Amsterdam, Lockport, Evans Mills, Hudson, Monticello, and Herkimer, among others. The New York shutdowns are part of a massive national retrenchment that is unfolding as GameStop wraps up its fiscal year, which took place on January 31st. Stores across 43 states were slated to close by the end of the month, capping off one of the most aggressive retail pullbacks in the company's history. The January wave follows the closure of 590 U.S. stores during the prior fiscal year. Combined, the 2 rounds mean GameStop will have shuttered more than 1,000 locations in roughly 2 years, slashing its once sprawling footprint by a staggering margin. At its peak, the video game retailer operated more than 6,000 stores worldwide. After the latest cuts, the chain is expected to be left with fewer than 2,000 locations. Despite the scale of the closures, GameStop was largely stayed quiet publicly. Individual shutdowns have been confirmed through the company's online store locator, which now labels hundreds of locations as closed with no reopening date, as well as through local reporting in affected markets. Um, in a December filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, GameStop said it planned to close a significant number of additional stores during fiscal 2025 as part of a store portfolio optimization review. The company's most recent quarterly earnings report, released in December, showed net sales slipping to $821 million from $860 million a year earlier, even income beco- as net income improved to $77.1 million. Oof, damn, damn, that's crazy, man. That's fucking crazy, man. Yeah, no thanks to these fucking tariffs. Um, mhm. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do. I'm sorry. Hold on a second, folks. All right, so the pullback comes years after GameStop became one of the most recognizable names in finance during the 2021 meme stock frenzy, when a surge of retail trading briefly sent the company's shares soaring and turned this struggling business into a Wall Street spectacle. The stock market mania, fueled by online traders rallying around GameStop as a symbol of defiance against hedge funds, gave the company renewed attention and fresh capital, but it did not solve the long term problems facing its brick and mortar business. The Post has sought comment from GameStop. Oh boy, that's really messed up, though, man. That's messed up. That's really messed up, though, man. All right, so let me see. Yeah, I want to actually do a little recap of what happened with the PlayStation State of Play, which took place yesterday. So let's take a look at the recap here. So Sony has just held its latest PlayStation State of Play presentation, during which more than 30 games were shown. A new remake of the original God of War trilogy was announced alongside a shadow drop of a 2D God of War spinoff. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection 2 was also finally confirmed after much speculation, and Video Games Chronicles story back in 2021 that a Castlevania reimagining was in development internally at Konami in Japan, with support from local external studios, was finally proved true with Belmont's curse. So let's go over the list of everything that was announced. Let's go there. So, PlayStation Shadow dropped a God of War 2D spinoff called God of War Sons of Sparta and confirmed that a remake of the original trilogy is in development. A new Sorrows trailer addresses Returnal complaints head on with a um, permanent progression system. The first gameplay trailer of Silent Hill Townfall reveals that it's a first-person game. Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition is officially coming this week, courtesy of Digital Eclipse. A John Wick game starring Keanu Reeves was revealed by Saber Interactive. Castlevania Belmont's Curse is a new Castlevania game coming in 2026 by the teams behind Dead Cells and the Rogue Prince of Persia. Metal Gear Solid 4 is finally coming to modern consoles in Metal Gear Solid Master Collection 2. A Control Resonant gameplay trailer shows new enemies and abilities. A new Dead or Alive game is in development, while a current gen update of Dead or Alive 6 called Last Round is coming in June. Ghost of Yotai's Legends multiplayer mode is coming next month, which is March. Death Stranding 2 is coming to PC next month with new modes and features. PlayStation Adventure Kena Bridge of Spirits is getting a PS5 and PC sequel this year. February's PlayStation Plus games were officially confirmed, including Spider-Man 2. Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered is coming on March 3rd. Mark your calendars alongside a brand new new 2D action game. So there you go, right there, man. All right, so let me see what this says, man. Okay, so more headlines. Okay, so Four Loop is the new game coming from J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Games. A new trailer for Pragmata revealed more of the story. Resident Evil Requiem got another new story trailer. Brigandine Abyss is coming to PS5 later this year. Crimson Moon is coming in 2026. Game Freak's Beast of Reincarnation is coming on August 4th. Mina the Hollower's release date is on the horizon, but will be in spring 2025. Well, that's not really. 2025 was last year. I think they meant 2026. A demo is coming on Friday. Never Prologue will be released on February 19th. Shako Shinobi Ops is a 4-player co-op ninja game by the original studio behind Tenchu, due in 2027. Crafton Montreal announced Project Windless. It's game based on fantasy novel The Bird That Drinks Tears. Ew. Star Wars Galactic Racer got a gameplay trailer and is coming in 2026 of this year. 007 First Light gets a new story trailer revealing more of the game's plot. Darwin's Paradox, a Konami game about an octopus, is out on April 2nd with a demo coming out on Friday. Reverend Noir is a new JRPG from Konami. Tekken Dark Resurrection is coming to PS Plus Classics catalog in March, with the PS1 Time Crisis coming in May. Big Walk will be on PlayStation Plus game catalog later this year. Marvel Tokan will be released on August 6th. A new trailer revealed. Obviously, there was no. I don't know. Obviously, there was no Sonic game that was. Actually, no. There was no Sonic game that was in the state of play thing. So it wasn't going to be included though. It's a PlayStation thing. So there you go, right there. All right, all right. All right. We're gonna wrap up here. Actually, we'll wrap up here. All right, we're gonna wrap up here with this stream choices on the go. Stream choices on the go. Let's go. All right, make sure you follow Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on Facebook alongside with Bluesky Social, Threads, and Instagram. The same goes for my other podcast shows that I'm doing, which is the Sports Edition show, Excellent, Fun, Vibrant Talks podcast, and of course my comedy, Off the Meat Rat Chains New York Avenue podcast. And you can also follow your host with the most, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Now, if you go to the link in bar where it says Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast 5, you're going to see a list of audio streaming platforms with podcast feed links. And what you're going to see here is Audible, Odyssey, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. Your positive feedback is very important. All right. We're on Castbox FM, These are Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Overall FM Podcast, Pandora, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, Podcast Republic, Snip. Make sure you add the podcast to your Spotify playlist and press the notification bell so you'll be notified on when the episodes will be going up on Spotify and other streaming platforms. And you can also listen on Spotify for creators alongside with TuneIn Radio, Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists such as rappers, R&B singers, pop stars, rock and roll artists, and different music genres, your favorite AM and FM radio stations, and alongside with hip hop artists. If I forgot that, hip hop artists is included. And also, you can listen to the podcast episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is grab your phones and download iHeartRadio onto your iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android tablets. You can even download iHeartRadio onto your laptop models, such as Apple Mac and Dell laptop models. All right. So there you go right there. And yes, make sure you subscribe to the Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube Entertainment channel page. And of course, leave a like and a comment alongside with the review topics that's being discussed in each episode. Share the Linktree link with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you're cool with from work. And of course, enable alerts, very important. You can also get notified on when I'll be on the air via live stream with new podcast recordings. And of course, you can also share the videos. You can also share you can also you can also you can also get notified on new episodes on every streaming platforms on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. All right. All right, man. That's gonna do it for me. That's gonna do it for me right here. That's a wrap. This is your man. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Rhymes went now or later, and I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you for tuning in to the episode. I really appreciate that. You could have listened to any other podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this podcast as well. So listen, remember the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. And of course, find your niche in doing what you love to do, whether it's radio personality, whether it's podcasting, whether it's any other career you're trying to do what you love, all right? And if you plan on starting a podcast, make sure you be on your P's and Q's creatively, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually that gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. And by the way, folks, I was reading something on Facebook the other day in regards to somebody was asking a question in regards to inviting guests with a permission slip to come on their show. I'm like, wait a minute, man. This is not fucking college, man. You don't need. Listen, let me just say this as a podcast host, man. I never had to make a permission slip to invite guests over. What I would do, if you plan on starting a podcast, I would suggest that you get contact information, whether it's emails, whether it's phone numbers. You can even text. Those two things is what I actually use to actually invite guests over. I don't charge people to be a guest on my podcast. In the same way, I do not use permission slips. You don't need permission slips to invite guests to your podcast show, man. I just wanted to say it right here, right now. So there you go, right there. All right. Let me check to see who just let me see who this is. Hold on, real quick. Robbie. First of all, there's no bad luck when it comes to recording podcast episodes, okay? There's no bad luck on this podcast, man. That's never happened in the history of between 4 to 5 years of grinding. I also want to say that I also want to say that podcasting is a grind and a marathon, not a fucking sprint, okay? Don't let anybody stop you or tell you what you can and can't do based on your talent, based on your capabilities, and everything else in between. Because I guarantee if you start your podcast right away, I guarantee you'll be successful. You don't need to worry about having a fancy recording studio to spend expensive money on recording studios as far as like anything else in between, though, man. All you need is your trusty laptop, your microphone. If you could get ring lights for lighting purposes like I have right here, I guarantee you will be very successful. Whether you're making money off of this or not, it doesn't matter. It's about authenticity and originality. All right. So that's it, folks. Um, that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Stay tuned for more new topics in the next episode. Peace and one love. Enjoy your Valentine's Day weekend with your boyfriends, girlfriends, your wives, your husbands, whoever you're hanging out with, whatsoever. And if you have to give like love notes or cards or whatever, just keep it simple, man. You don't need to go the extra mile buying fancy roses or chocolates or anything like that, man. Just keep it simple and be creative at all times. Peace and one love. Enjoy yourselves. Happy Valentine's Day weekend, everybody. And good night, everybody.